Today's video is the review and improvements of the miniature Frigidaire superconducting refrigerator. Superconducting technology is basically a solid state refrigerator, folks. It works on superconducting electric instead of a normal compressor with refrigerant in there. It works on the electronic effect of the electrical properties of the solid state material, transferring heat from inside the container box to the outside. I tested the thing and it works, but here's a problem with this thing. For some reason the fan sucks air in here and tries to blow it out here. The problem is this is the back of the box, so it's basically blowing hot air over the back of the box that it's trying to cool, where the fan should be exhausting the air out and bringing the air, taking advantage of the cool box to help further cool the chip. So let's open this thing up and I'll show you what I mean. Of course, when you're working on any electrical appliance, make sure it's unplugged before you begin so you don't electrocute yourself. And so you can see the chips here. Yeah, of course, God forbid they give you enough wire, because wire is so expensive to corporate America. They can't use too much wire in something so you can work on it. So the problem is, here's the cold box. So instead of bringing air past the box and helping to cool the chip, it's blowing hot air from the chip in here, and these little fins here be causing back pressure. So you're basically heating up the back of the box and heating up the cold box, which dramatically affects the efficiency. Instead of ejecting the heat as soon as possible, it's basically with the back pressure of these little fins here, these little slots here, instead of quickly getting the heat out of the box, it's keeping the heat with the back pressure of trying to blow the hot air into the box. So I'm going to change it where the fan ejects the hot air instead of keeping it in the box. So let's get started. I don't want to use the power driver for this because I don't want to break the threads on the plastic. So a simple improvement is basically reversing the fan so it blows the air out instead of sucking the air in. And of course the product directions say keep ventilation as good as possible, but it would certainly help if the company improved ventilation themselves. So I'm basically reversing the fan like that. So now it will eject the hot air instead of keeping the hot air in the cabinet. And put the screws back. Maybe it was supposed to be like that in the first place, but after reading the product reviews for this crazy thing, most of the people complained about it breaking down soon after they bought it, which could be very well the reason why it broke down, because it's overheating itself, because sloppy engineering. like I said, God forbid they give you that little wire to work with on these things. But every penny counts for corporate profits. They can't give materials away for nothing. And I wonder why people throw stuff out because they can't work on it, because they don't make it right in the first place. End up pulling the wires out because they don't give you enough wire to work with. So it has a thermal sensor here, obviously, to see if it's overheating, because when this thing does run, folks, it stays on constantly. It does get to a temperature about 40 degrees, 34 degrees. Not enough to keep food cold, but like the advertisement says, enough to chill drinks and beverages. And of course you have your AC and DC power supply here to run the circuit here with these wires and the sensor. And of course it takes 12 volts or 120 volt house current. So now instead of sucking the air in, it'll shoot the air out, and the air will come into these vents here and not overheat the cabinet as well. So now it'll help keep the cabinet cool, and the machine will run cooler, so it'll work much better. That's just that one simple fix, and it'll improve its efficiency. You'd think they would have thought of that when they made this crazy, foisted this thing onto the public. Especially using the good Frigidaire name, known for so long of being a mark of quality, and you'd think they'd try to maintain the goodwill of their the Frigidaire trademark by making sure the product is well made before putting it on the market, but such is the case. If you look on the reviews for this thing on a well-known website that's familiar with the river in South America, you would know what I'm talking about, and how the reviews are so bad that they keep breaking down. And another thing, the shelf there's no way for air to ventilate between the shelf, so one good thing is to drill some holes here. I'm going to drill some more holes here to allow the air to circulate inside the cold box, and that would help improve product efficiency as well. And there you have it, folks. Now there will be more air ventilation in the box to help keep the thing air circulate if you're actually using the shelf. So you can see the back end. This whole back part pretty much gets cold. Like I said before, when the fan was sucking the air in, it's blowing the hot air from the superconductor chip inside the box, making the whole thing hotter. And of course, if the superconducting chip overheats, the product is going to fail. So it should be exhausting the air out as soon as possible, not keeping the hot air in, but such is the case. That's how they made it. So if you buy one of these things or you get it as a holiday gift, I suggest reversing the flow of the fan. Now here's how you put the shelf in. Well, I'm just going to put it in like so. Has little notches back there for holding stuff in there. And now, as you can see, the air will circulate a little better. You can actually drill a lot more holes in there. Obviously, at one point they probably figured this grid work would be open and then it would circulate the air, but they probably figured that if they made it open grid work, the plastic would be prone to breakage because it'd be too weak if it were hollowed out. So you could do your part by putting some holes in there and letting the air circulate. So now what I'm going to do, folks, is show you how this thing works by using a ordinary temperature thermometer. Put the temperature thing in here. You want the temperature sensor to be in there, so I'm going to do it like, you want it touching into the walls. You want to keep it so like this will work. So it hangs down in the cold box without touching any walls or anything like that. So you get a normal reading. And since the heat rises and cold air falls, I'm going to put the sensor from the top so it won't affect the temperature reading. Set this to, I'll change it to Fahrenheit and centigrade so you could see it more often. Of course, it's a little hotter because I was touching the sensor. Lock the cabinet up. Put it into now when you turn this thing on, folks, it has a switch here. It says off and cold, so you choose either AC or 12 volt. It comes with a 12 volt charge battery thing for an automobile or camper or whatever. Well, 12 volt power supply. They don't call them cigarette lighters anymore in cars, they just call it 12 volt DC. So you put your AC in there like that, and you switch it to cold, and now it's exhausting the air. The only thing I don't like about this is that there's still a lot of back pressure from the fan. I'm going to show you one more improvement. Folk might not be approved by the manufacturer, but it'll greatly increase product efficiency. Now what I would suggest is putting a wire guard over the fan, because look how much space was taken up by the big plastic protectors here, the things here to keep people from sticking their fingers in there. So I would take a piece of hardware cloth or something and cover it up so the mesh is finer. You just look how big those plastic is. It's probably almost half, causing more back pressure in the product. So that's another product improvement. You want to increase the airflow and get the heat out of the box as soon as possible. Now let's take a look and see how it's doing so far. Of course, it's not going to work that fast. So what I'm going to do is, that'll be the starting temperature. Well, we're after a couple, let's see, it looks like 2 hours have passed, folks, and it's about 39 degrees in there, 38.8 miles, rounded up to 39 degrees. So I believe I started this clock, you would have seen it in the time-lapse sequence. So it's about 2 hours have passed when the clock was set to 12 to start at 0 for 2 hour time. So folks, it works brought the temperature down to about 39 degrees in there. So the Frigidaire superconducting refrigerator does work to about 39 degrees. It wouldn't be recommended for food storage. You need about below 35 degrees for food storage. Or let me know in the comments what the food storage temperature should be in your opinion. So if you do use this thing for recreational purposes, my suggestion would be to plug it in and get it cooled down before you go out on your trip, and have it cold before you use it with the automotive 12 volt power supply, or cigarette lighter, or whatever you want to call it there. So let's open it up and see. A better test would have been a container of water, but it is pretty cold in there. If they were to perfect this technology, it could be very useful and help protect the environment from dangerous carbofluorines found in refrigerants. But maybe time will tell. In our lifetimes it might be perfected. Let me know what you think. Is a compressor technology better, or should they perfect the superconducting technology for this kind of portable refrigerator? So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your comments. What do you think of the superconducting refrigerator? Have you used one before? Do you have one that did it break down? How long did it last? Let us know. So that's the end for now. See you next time.